Here's the situation. I'm going to take a little nature hike. See if we can come across any kind of wildlife. Rode my bike out to a recreation area. This used to be a mining pit. There used to be there's open pit mines, iron ore, but they've all filled up with water, so now they're lakes. And we're going to take an old mining road. We're going to walk it. See if there's any wildlife around. I was actually out here earlier, and I looked down the path as I started to walk down it, just like I am right now. And I saw a woman and looked like a young daughter, and I didn't want to be appearing to be following them. Looking at these rocks here, and turned away for a while and looked back down the road path here. They were out of sight, but just as I was looking, a deer came into the trail. We stared at each other for quite a while. Right down there is a creek. Over here on the other side of this mound is a lake, probably only about 50, 60 feet away. And on this side is a creek that flows this way. Flows out of Serpent Lake into a sort of little swamp. Here a woodpecker. Here a crow. Squeaky tree rubbing against another one. Wind's blowing today, a little windy. At the end of this, not the end of this trail, but when this road sort of goes into another road, there's a place I created a campsite. I actually found this spot that had flat ground close to the water, but it'd make a perfect campsite, but there was no road, and I had no idea if there was where the road was really, but I'll show it to you when we get up here. I think that's a blue jay. Pretty damn sure, as a matter of fact. I know the sounds of a blue jay. Can't see him. In that oak tree. I can't see him or her. She's right up there where I was looking. I got my FireFly 7S camera. It looks just like a GoPro 3 or 4. And I got it mounted on my forehead in the Cyclops bandana, which is a bandana designed to hold GoPro Hero 3s or 4s, which also will also hold FireFly 6S's and FireFly 7S's, and these other cameras called SJ4000, SJ5000. Any camera that's the same size and dimensions, shape and dimensions of a GoPro Hero 3 or 4. And you wear it right around your head like a bandana, and you always know where your lens is pointing. And you know, it's easy, so easy to use. And I sell them on eBay for less than $10. You can get it as cheap as $5, depending on which model. Some colors and prints I'm just trying to get rid of, so I got them on sale. But you can still get one for $6.50 if nobody outbids you. You could buy it now for $9.95. Now here, this is new. This was not here before. This is the stream I was telling you about. It goes this way too, and eventually flows into like a swamp. But for some reason, they decided to divert this lake water from Serpent Lake and divert it into this culvert. And now we got a bit of a waterfall. This is really, this is new. I mean, I've been coming out here for many, many years, and this is new to me. They put all those rocks down there so it wouldn't erode any more than it has. I bet you there's probably fish hanging out just below the falls. That's falls. Waterfall. Wow. It drops down from where the culvert is probably only about 4 feet, no more than 5. Looks more like 4 to me. Basically a home, man-made I should say, a man-made, I mean this lake never got fed by a stream. It was always fed from below through the rock. And I don't get it. Why would they be raising, why would they want to raise the level of this lake when the lake's level is pure natural? This water eventually is going to be soaking downward, not, oh well, beyond my control. But this lake water here comes from Serpent Lake. You can see it's pretty clear. The water, those lakes, the lakes were around here, these mine pit lakes are clear. I mean, we're talking 15 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet clarity. When I was a kid, I went snorkeling out here for the first time in 1969, I think it was, maybe 68. And the water clarity, I know you won't believe me, but I was able to get on one side of the lake, go underwater, look across the lake on the other side of the lake, and I could see the trees that were submerged along the shore. I could see them underwater, and they were on the other side of the lake because there's a big deep part in between. Now the lake wasn't that wide, it was maybe 500 feet across, long skinny lake, but I could see underwater for about 500 feet with really good clarity. I don't know how much more time I got on this camera. I'm gonna shut it off for a while. Just walking down this road, and this used to be a campsite. Used to be all mud and dirt in here. Used to be able to drive in from down here this way too, as well as coming here. It was not a very good campsite though. People only would camp here when all the other good spots were taken. And this is why it's a bad place to camp, because it's not easy to get into the lake. And when you do, it's rocks and just fallen trees. It's just not a great, certainly not the best campsite here. We're going to see one of the best, and I actually created that place. I think I mentioned that earlier. And it's a great spot. Unfortunately, I'm Gonna just take a wild guess, and because it is such a nice camp spot, people go there a lot, which means there's probably a lot of trash laying around. Last time I was there, it looked like somebody had been living there, like a hobo camp. It was abandoned and all kinds of stuff was just laying around. We'll see. Well, this road I've been on is connecting to another road, I think. I guess not yet, but it will very soon. I know my way around here. Things have changed. Like I showed you that little waterfall. The roads are still in the same spot. Well, this road's going to split to the right and to the left. We're going to go to the left, and soon after we do, we're going to come to that campsite that I found at virgin land and made it really one of the best campsites at this whole mine pit. There's a lot of good ones, but this is a really good one, I think. It's actually straight across over there, but we're not going to go through all that. We're going to go in through the driveway, which I cut trees and cleared brush. The driveway is not too long, but it was enough where nobody even knew that this spot was back here. Now here's the road. It comes from the main dirt road of the mine pit entrance area, and it goes down this way along the lake. Lake's over here. And this looked just like this. And that looked just like that. And anyway, this was all woods. This is the road I cut. I cut a better road. This is horrible. This looks a lot different than what I cut. But first I cleared it out just a little bit, didn't need much. First I created the campsite, and then after the campsite was created, then I cut the driveway in, and right away I drove my van in here to be the first one to camp here. This is where I park my cars park here, and then this is where, up along here is where people pitch tents. It's just up a little higher than down here. When it rains, the mud puddles will form down here, especially there. But right up here, it used to be all grass like that. But after all the tents pitched, it's just dirt. Okay, let's see what this looks like. It's not too bad. People can get up and down. What I had was there was a big tree, a stump, and I rolled it down here and I rolled it down there. So the stump was up almost to the top, down into the water, or at the edge of the water. And I took my chainsaw and I cut steps in that big log. So basically you had steps to just walk down this little hill. I don't know, somebody moved it for some reason. If you go down this way, we'll just go down there. But it's a path that goes right to the water. You don't have to climb down a steep hill like you did right over there. This here will gradually take you right down to the water. This actually used to be a road where the trucks would drive down, because they'd leave a earthen ramp. You get up and down the mine pit. So they would drive right and down this way. Let's get over here. And they would just drive down wherever the road eventually goes. That tree, obviously, fell from shore and didn't drift here like this one here did. Somebody had a little dock to stand on while they fish, I don't know. But there's some nice sunfish in there and some bass. But there's all kinds of fish. They stock these lakes with trout, brook trout and rainbow trout. And there's other fish that's common in the lakes around here. Northern pike, walleyes, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, rock bass, sunfish, bluegills, perch. They're all in here. And yes, there are walleyes. Man, I saw some big ones in here. I know they're in here. So I'm swimming along shore. Well, I think we've seen enough of my campsite. Oh, no. There's one more thing I gotta show you. I brought some little, one day I brought some little pine trees, little saplings. Just, you know, 1.5 feet tall at the most. I planted, I think, 4 or 5 of them. But people, for some reason, would pull them. I had a couple over here, one on each side of the, and they're pulled. But there's 2 that's still alive, and there it is. There's one of them right here. This thing got runted when it was very young. Somebody wanted some easy firewood. They didn't have to walk very far. So they snapped the top of the pine tree off as firewood. And this thing has grown, but not impressively. I planted that little 1.5 foot long, 18-inch sapling, let's see here. It's 2017. Oh my God. I must have planted them maybe 13, 14. Wait a minute, let me think about this. (1995), 1996. So about 20 years. Let's say 20 years ago. That is not very impressive for growing for 20 years. But there's another one I planted, and I didn't put it in the campsite. I just wanted to put it somewhere. Oh my God, I don't see it. Oh yeah, I do. It's right there. That's another one. I was expecting it to be smaller than that. So there you go, from a sapling to that in 20 years. It's a lot more like it compared to the other one. It's a white spruce, I think. White Norway. But, God, it seemed like it was further off the road. But there should be 4 more like this in here. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.